who would win? A snake or a bald eagle? Except the snake is a baby. It's a baby black mamba snake. Right? The bald eagle is 6 feet tall. It's like a fully grown adult male. That's how big it is. But the bird has no wings. But the snake is blind. Alright, so you have a blind baby black mamba versus a 6 feet tall bald eagle with no wings, which also has an IQ of 160. But the snake has an IQ of 360, alright? So it's significantly smarter. I think, even despite being a baby. So who would win?
Humans.
That's a fair point, you're wrong. The snake wins.
I think the snake would win.
I think the snake.
Every time.
Because
I don't see the debate here, Joffer. Like,
I mean, the snake might be small, but that also makes it harder to hit by the bird. And the bird is extremely uncoordinated.
okay,
So
snakes.
if it tried to
Well,
peck
it's
at
just
it, it would
hopping
just
around.
miss and miss.
The bird is hopping
It's just
around.
hopping around
And the
without
bird
wings.
would fall over because it doesn't. It's
can't
massive, so its body is not proportionally measured, and so it will fall over, and it doesn't have wings to balance with.
Yeah.
So
And it
I have
can't
no
move.
idea what I'm doing when I
Snake.
say
The snake can sense vibrations in the ground. It doesn't
so
need to see.
so the blindness doesn't matter.
it uses its nose and like its
Yeah.
tongue. It doesn't use its eyes.
Yeah.
It does not
Being
use
blind
its
is
eyes.
not much of a handicap.
Being
a
blind
baby
probably
is
helps
a
it
bit
more.
of a handicap, but it's
But
just
not
smaller
really.
and it is
Because-
easier to escape the bald eagle's talons if it does
Exactly.
get grabbed. But here's the thing: the bald eagle, even if it can move around and navigate, it can't use its talons because it has to walk. It can't balance on one foot. We know that much at least. And so if it were to try and use its beak, that would just be troublesome because then it would just fall over. At that point. I don't think it'd be able to balance.
Well, baby snakes and like scorpions are more poisonous too.
Yeah.
Well, that's because they
Venom.
can't control their venom.
Yeah.
So it would probably, since it has an IQ of 260, I guess that wouldn't really
360.
come into
360.
360. Wouldn't really come into play because
But it could.
Yeah.
Because it's just smart, you know.
Well, 'cause it's a baby.
The snake is also extremely fast. Like, these are not slow snakes. It's not the fastest species,
but it's
but
very
it's
fast.
it's one of the most deadly snakes in the world, and it can move at like 10, 12 miles an hour. Even baby ones can move fast. You know, like it's not baby as like it was just born, but it.
Yeah, if it was like a newborn, it would be a different question.
I think
that
the
would
snake
be
would
like
still win,
unable
though.
to be able to do it.
Even a newborn baby
Yeah,
blind
that
black
would be a
mamba.
good argument because if it would be like whether the eagle can actually kill the snake without falling over and just making itself vulnerable.
The eagle just can't do anything.
I know.
Even if the eagle,
The eagle is just too crippled.
hypothetically, if the eagle was perfectly fine bobbing up and down to use its beak to attack, the snake would not be phased. I do not. I just think the sheer speed, like the eagle would have to turn enough so to move accurately to grab this tiny snake that's moving at ridiculous speeds for a baby snake to move at. Now, if we talk about terrain, you know, like what type of terrain they're fighting in, that might
Well, rocks
pose a
snakes
different
usually.
story, but I don't think so because the snake has so much more ability to maneuver in the different environments and the different circumstances just because you know it's so small, it's so agile. The bird, if they were in a forest, the snake would have the advantage because the bird would just be stuck between all this brush and the snake could just zoom by under the bushes and all
And you
that.
could even lose it. Like, it could be camouflage
Yeah,
almost.
the eagle would hardly be able to see, even though eagles do have very good sight, I must say.
Yeah, that's true. So
And it's
it
not
probably wouldn't
blind.
really come into play.
I mean,
So-
how does the snake get to the 6 foot tall eagle to bite it?
But
It would-
also the snake is very smart, so it would
The
know
snake is
exactly where
very
to go.
smart.
It would know the exact,
It-
like,
it
perfect
wouldn't-
place to go.
Like, it wouldn't know off the top of its head where to go, but it would learn very fast.
Yeah, very, very quickly.
A big flicker raptor.
And now, like, if they were in, like, the,
But also the
Not the
thing is
desert, I
that
don't
the
wanna say,
snake could adapt to each each terrain that it goes into to be, because it's really smart. It might not use its smartness, but it could use its smartness to like just say that if it's in a desert, he could blend in with like certain objects and like certain terrain, and that would help him in the long run because the eagle would have to adapt to each thing, each like terrain that's in. But the snake already knows the terrains if it goes back and forth between the different terrain or something like that.
Now here's the thing,
Yeah.
Eagles do hunt snakes.
That is true.
You know, like that's not anything new.
But that's just because they can fly. And
Yeah.
flying doesn't come into the question because he can't fly. And
But
he's
what
also
if he
massive.
could fly?
But he doesn't have wings.
But he
But
doesn't
what,
have wings.
but what if he could fly?
What?
That doesn't
No,
matter.
That doesn't
No, like
matter.
hypothetically, what if
If it could fly without wings,
No, hypothetically, what if he actually did have wings and it was the same scenario, but he had wings?
okay,
Would
the bird might have a chance.
would-
But that's
would the-
not
would-
that's
would
not
the
the point of
snake
this
have-
question.
Yeah.
This question, if the bird does not have wings,
that doesn't relate in any
it's a
important way.
flightless eagle.
So is it a penguin versus a snake?
Kind of. It's
Kind
a
of.
very. I mean, it's
But
like
except the
it's a-
penguin can't balance.
penguins
At
might
all.
actually. do
Penguins
this.
balance.
Well, yeah, exactly.
It still wouldn't
penguins
have wings.
penguins can balance, but this eagle cannot. Would it consider like just like running away and trying to survive on its own?
The snake.
Yeah.
Or the-
Would that come into question? Like, would they
Well,
be allowed to like run
No,
away
like
and just
it's a death match. Like they have
death
to
match?
fight.
Okay, that's what I thought. Because then the snake could definitely just run away, and the bird would just sit there and decay and
Yeah.
die.
I mean, the bird can't do much. Like,
Yeah.
even if it can walk around, let's say bird can walk around at about 3 miles an hour.
Yeah.
That's not a bad speed, you know?
Yeah.
That's like a slow human walking pace.
Mhm.
I think that would make sense. So 3
Yeah,
miles an
but
hour,
Even with a 160 IQ, it's still gonna fall over because it has no
Yeah.
coordination,
and the snake is still going like twice that speed at least.
if not more. Yeah.
So
Probably at least thrice.
the bird has no shot.
The only way it would is if it somehow gets a lucky shot, like it like lunges
Yeah,
and
like
hits the snake. But the snake is still very
The
smart,
birds-
so it would be very hard for it to do anything.
the
still.
bird's best bet would be to flop its entire body and just hope that it hits the snake.
Yeah,
But even then, the snake isn't gonna like.
the snake is not going to give
That's
any
where-
opportunity for that.
That's where the
because-
environment's gonna come in, because if it were like sand or something, the snake would be fine. But if it were dirt or rock, the snake might get hurt. But
Yeah,
it still doesn't matter that much because
the snake will put itself in the best possible situation not to get hit, and it will know pretty much. He
yeah, but
should
then
have
even if it
a
does
pretty
get
good
hit-
idea of what the eagle
The
is going to do
snake-
before it does it.
the snake can just face upwards and bite the eagle as it's. Well, I guess the snake's blind, so that's kind of hard.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's kind of the only way the bird could win, I think. Is
yeah,
by doing that. I mean, if it gets a lucky like peck in, then that would work. But other than that, those two things,
yeah.
I mean, it's relying on luck either way. When the
Yeah.
snake can use actual strategy,
Yeah.
and just
Well,
go
the
fast.
snake,
and bite
the
leg.
snake can use all his intelligence to minimize the actual chance of that happening.
Yeah. Okay. Here's the thing.
Down to
though.
like almost zero.
The bird can peck the ground with its beak, right, and attack anything on the ground. But that doesn't even matter when Paul, don't hit the phone down. It doesn't matter what the bird can attack because the bird can't reach its own talons. And that's where the snake is going to bite because
Yeah.
it has access to that right at the floor, right at the ground. It's the base level. What is the bird going to do?
And if the bird misses, the bird is dead because the snake can just go in because the bird
Going
is
for the
completely
kill.
undefended.
Yeah, once the bird falls, then the snake just has access to its neck. I mean, even
Yeah.
if the snake can't see the vibrations.
Yeah.
Mark, you're not in there.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, for a box.
So, I mean, when it comes down to it, the bird just cannot win by any logical means. By chance, yes, but that's not
It's-
a likely scenario.
I would say the answer would be the most possible outcome, and the most possible outcome is the snake would win.
Yeah, the most
Whereas
likely.
on an off chance the eagle may win, but that doesn't validate saying that the eagle would win.
Yeah, it's not. The eagle just isn't stronger. Joffer, I don't know if you're just vouching for the bird to be devil's advocate, but the bird loses. The snake wins.
There's no
That's
way.
just it. I'm sorry.